Just need some sound.
Conselho de Curadores, Barry Rassin. Parabéns por assumir uma função de liderança no Rotary. Sei por experiência própria a dedicação, a gestão do tempo e as habilidades organizacionais que você utilizará este ano. Mas uma coisa que espero que você tenha em mente é a Fundação Rotária. Parte da sua função de liderança é incentivar todos a doarem para o fundo anual da nossa fundação. Um fundo anual saudável fornece fundos distritais designados para seus clubes e distritos realizarem projetos sustentáveis. A necessidade de nossa ajuda em comunidades ao redor do mundo continua a crescer, e a demanda por nossa ajuda está em alta. É por isso que estou pedindo a todos nós que participemos de forma mais intensa e façamos um presente pessoal para que, quando você estiver pedindo aos outros, possa liderar pelo exemplo. E quando eu digo participar de forma mais intensa, quero dizer doar mais do que você doou antes. Se você nunca doou, agora é a hora de começar. Se você já é um doador, obrigado, e eu convido você a doar novamente e a doar ainda mais generosamente do que no ano passado. Fiz meu primeiro presente no dia 1º de julho para dar início ao ano rotário. Você vai participar de forma mais intensa se juntar a mim? Obrigado por sua liderança. Juntos, vamos participar de forma mais intensa e fazer deste um ano recorde. Saudações aos colegas rotários líderes.
Bom dia. For what? I don't know. I couldn't come to Brazil and not speak Portuguese. President Gordon, Heather, Director Enrique, Renata, our trustees, Carlos, and forgive me, I'm going to do something I'm not supposed to do, but Mario, Denise, I know you're going to be one of the best presidents we ever had. Marjana is a young lady, 26 years old, lives in Pakistan. She has 2 children, and she is one of the thousands of health workers who help us to get our vaccines to the children. Marjana is responsible for 84 children, and she takes her responsibility very seriously. She has to climb a mountain in the winter through the snow to get to 84 children in houses that are spread apart by a kilometer. She feels guilty that she can't do even more because she is dedicated to eradicating polio in Pakistan. She is one of our heroes. She is one of the individuals who are making sure that our #1 priority to eradicate polio will happen. And we have to continue to support her and all the others like her. Are we going to do that? Yes. I don't know, that wasn't very loud. Are we going to do that? Yes. Thank you. Because we need to continue to raise the funds we need. Our districts need to continue to give the 20% of our district designated funds. Our clubs, I asked you, every one of our clubs around the world provide the $1,500 US, and we will meet our goal. We really need to take it seriously. We've been doing this a long time. We're tired of it. We want it to be over, but we have to take it all the way to the finish line. We made the promise to our children. We must fulfill that promise. We must support Marjana and all of her colleagues who are using the funds that we give to make sure that we succeed. Only 7 cases this year, but that's 7 children who are brutally affected by a horrible disease. Let's stop it. The World Health Organization says this year will be the last year of the wild polio virus. And that's happening because of you. That's happening because of your support, continued support, and willing to try some new and different things. We need to think differently in this day and age. It's a new world. We can't just say, yes, we'll do what we did last year. We have to step up. We've got some really big goals. The trustees did an incredible job in saying, all of the programs that we do around the world, we need to do even more. Do you know we impacted 100 million people in the last 5 years? That's a lot of people that you helped to change their life. You helped to give them hope. You have been and will continue to create hope in our world. And I thank you for that. With these big goals, we said we're going to raise $500 million this year for the Rotary Foundation. We said that each and every one of us, as members of the organization, must give something to our Rotary Foundation. When we announced that we have eradicated polio, each and every member must be in a position where they can stand up and say, I was a part of that. I helped to do that. I helped to change the world. You need to give something to our foundation to show that you are a part of it. This is your foundation. So that $500 million breaks down to $150 million for the annual fund, more than we've done before. $50 million for our polio eradication program, which you know we've been doing every year, but it's getting more and more difficult. And we really need to make sure we reach that target. And why? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will then give us $100 million. And then we have to look at our endowment fund that Trustee Carlos told you about. Our goal is $60 million in cash and $80 million in expectancies. Think about those expectancies in your life. They don't affect you, right? You're going to leave money for the future. And when you do that and give it to the endowment, it then provides help for perpetuity, forever. You're now making a difference to the world in a way that no other organization can possibly do. And we need to continue to do that. For those who are the mathematicians in the room, there's another $60 million for all our other restricted funds. That's $500 million that we must raise. We're going to do that. We're going to do that because Rotarians, members of this organization, always step up to the challenge. Some of you in this room remember that day back in 1985 when we said we want to raise funds for polio eradication. And we raised more than twice as much as we had budgeted. Why? Because you in your hearts know polio must be eradicated. And look what we've done, from 350,000 to 7. 7. No zeros, just 7. But we're not finished. So let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's remember World Polio Day on October 24th. It's a great day to tell our communities, bring that awareness so our communities know that they can help us. And of course, April of next year, World Immunization Week. A great opportunity to make sure that the message that the anti-vaccinators are giving can be squashed. We can't let them slow us down in what we're doing to eradicate polio. But we need to think about it, stay focused, be conscious that these are the things that we need to do to finish our job. But of course we have so much else that we do. Look at these programs of scale. You heard a little about from Trustee Carlos. The first one, to reduce malaria in Zambia by 90%. We granted $2 million. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matched us for $2 million, and World Vision matched us for $2 million. $6 million to reduce malaria by 90% in that region. Guess what? Our partners said, this has worked so well that we want to give you more money to expand the program. That's what your organization does. We create trust. We create a willingness in others to work with us to make our world a better place. So right now we're working on a program where Bill and Melinda Gates, World Vision have each promised $10 million toward expanding that program, and we will match that. I think that deserves applause, guys. That was our first program of scale. Our second is in Nigeria to significantly reduce maternal and infant mortality. And that has begun and is starting to show promise. And the one we just approved in Egypt to significantly reduce cervical cancer. It's doable. We can do these things. We're doing these things. But to do that, we need every member of our organization to step up a little, do just a little more than you've done before, but certainly be a part and make those donations to our Rotary Foundation. We do special things. And I ask each of you, try to be involved in one of those projects. Travel somewhere else to go and see what was done. I had the great opportunity to go to Madagascar as part of a vocational training team. India sent 17 surgeons to Madagascar to do types of surgery that they couldn't do any other way. They brought 60 cases of surgical instruments, surgical equipment, surgical supplies, so they could make sure they can accomplish this. They were there for 2 weeks. A lot of travel time, but 8 days of surgery. Global grant for a VTT. And they were so dedicated. We would have breakfast every morning together, dinner every night together. And I kept seeing a couple of the surgeons missing from breakfast. So I asked, are they goofing off? Are they sleeping in? No. They went to the hospital early so they could do more cases, and they stayed later and missed dinner so they could do more cases. In 8 days, thank you. And these are 17 surgeons who gave up their practice for 2 weeks. Not only do they not get paid for doing surgery, they also gave up 2 weeks of earnings. I don't know if any of you are surgeons, but that's a good number of dollars that they're willing to sacrifice to make a difference. In that 8 days, they did 3,500 procedures. They changed the lives of those individuals, and during that time, they also trained 7 local surgeons so the work could continue. Changing lives. And that's just one grant. During the pandemic, we did 2,066 global grants, the most we'd ever done in our history, during a time when every other organization was doing less than they'd ever done because we're all stuck at home. We did more than ever because of your support. And that's just one But while I was there, I wanted to really get involved, so I gowned up, went into the operating rooms, talked to the surgeons, talked to the staff. And I was asked to take a patient to the recovery room. Got him on a stretcher, took him, 11-year-old boy, took him upstairs to the recovery room, and I wanted to wait until he woke up and the nurse was there before I left. And as I'm waiting, he wakes up. And I don't know if any of you are here in the healthcare industry, but when a patient wakes up from surgery, they're a little grumpy usually. Am I right? Yeah, some of us have been through that. We don't wake up happy. But this young man, 11 years old, he woke up, he looked around the room, he saw the rotary pin, and yes, I'm a fanatic, I wore it on my operating room gown. He saw that pin, and he smiled, and he said, "Thank you." That's a thank you that's meant for every one of you. That's a thank you that goes to the heart of every member of our organization. Because we changed his life, along with the other 3,499 of that week in Madagascar, along with the 100 million that we've changed in the last 5 years, because of what you do with our foundation. We need to keep doing it. We need to step up. We need to think of what to do different. And I'd ask you, let's stop talking to ourselves. We do that so much. You're committed. You're committed members of this organization, and that's why you're here. Let's make sure we talk to those who aren't here. Let's make sure we talk to non-members. Let's go see our corporate world. You've already started that in Brazil, a real exciting moment to reach out to the corporations in Brazil. It's been very successful in India. Now Brazil and Australia are going to start doing that same thing. They want to help us when they understand who we are and what we do. And we haven't been telling them. It's time. Whenever they truly understand. You talk to a CEO of a company who wants to do corporate social responsibility, and they say, "Wow, you mean Rotary can do whatever cause I believe in? Any one of our areas of focus? And if I give to the endowment, some of that's going to actually come back to this region in perpetuity?" How does a CEO say no to that? They're helping their own community, and they're changing lives in another world, and they're meeting their responsibilities. We need to have those conversations and change their lives. So before they pull me off the stage, I just want to close with reminding you, when you go to these projects and programs and see what we do, there was one that Esther and I, when we were in Nigeria, where we went to a clinic. We went to this clinic so we could see how the vaccination program works. And while we were there, we were able to give those 2 drops into those children's mouth. I will never forget the look on the mother's face, holding her child and looking directly in my eyes and smiling and knowing that Rotary just saved her child's life. That's what we do every single day. But we need to keep doing it. We've got so much more to do. The world needs us more now than ever. So I ask you, please, be that person of change. Be that individual member who is going to make sure that we create more hope in this world than we've ever had before. We're going to do a fantastic. Thank you. Always good to be in Brazil and be with my friends. Thank you very much.